may have seen this beautiful house before, but if you haven't seen it decorated for the holidays, you haven't seen it at its best. Pat and Ken Hunt invite you to experience their amazing home dressed for a feast, but always with a careful eye to preserving the lines and aesthetic of Frank Lloyd Wright. As Wright would approve, the decorations are all natural. The two large original containers framing the entrance are covered to preserve them from winter's freezing temperatures. Today, they are wrapped with garlands of cedar, Douglas fir, juniper, pine cones, and berries that gracefully dangle down to the lawn. This amazing natural garland is used extensively on the exterior of the house. Wright designed this home in 1902 for banker Arthur Hertley and his wife Grace. It is considered one of his earliest fully prairie homes. When contrasted with the Victorian homes in the neighborhood, the architectural vernacular of the time, it's easy to appreciate the radical design shift that prairie style represented. The exterior brickwork and heavy concrete base emphasize the horizontality of the Great Plains, deeply connecting with nature. The exterior entry is a typical Wright feature that enhances privacy. The unexpected Romanesque arch is in dramatic contrast to the home's horizontal lines. The natural garland of fir branches, magnolia leaves, pine cones, and berries outlines the arch and wraps the house for the season. As we step through the arch, we see a large standing pot filled with magnolia leaves, pine cones, and eucalyptus. Standing at attention is a half-life-size green river marble Sheehan warrior purchased on a trip to China and keeping warm, wrapped in a scarf of eucalyptus and other seasonal greens. For the current owners, living in this amazing house is an everyday affair. At the holidays, the correct decorative touches such as magnolia leaf garlands, the wreaths, accented by orchids and poinsettias, show the house to be fully what Wright called one of my best. Entering the house, we would not know that over the years it experienced many changes, including being converted into separate apartments before it was completely restored in 2002 by Ed and Diana Behrend. She is a member of the OPRF Infant Welfare Society, which sponsors this Housewalk. The house was designated a National Historic Landmark. And most important, it became once again the house Frank Lloyd Wright envisioned. The front hall immediately signals that this house has radically different features for the era in which it was built. The ground level rooms are designed to be private and dark with low ceilings, while the second floor houses the public light-filled rooms with soaring ceilings. At holiday time, the 18th century monk's chest in the foyer is topped with a Chinese-footed bathing basin with a large mass of white phalaenopsis orchid plants, in which is nestled a carved antique wooden Buddha and a variety of crystals that catch the light. Meanwhile, the gorgeous handmade Santa welcomes guests and leaves no doubt that holiday good times are ahead. Leading from the entryway, Wright designed 2 bedrooms, a servant's room, a bathroom, and a powder room. A brief glimpse of these bedrooms shows that it's decorated appropriately with turn-of-the-century paper garlands and snowflakes. The entry hall is compact and just a stopping point before entering what Wright designed as a playroom. The original owners used the playroom as a reception and music room. The Hertleys hosted many musical gatherings that included concerts followed by lively conversation. The grand piano stood in the northwest corner, and art glass doors could be opened to the outdoor loggia to let in cool breezes. Today, The room is the natural gathering space of the house, with its extensive seating, a wonderful fireplace, and a pool table for spirited games. Garlands of magnolia leaf, assorted pine boughs, berries, pheasant feathers, deer antlers, and pine cones, and a swag on the coffee table provide a gloriously natural holiday touch to the room's beautiful year-round decor. The windowsills behind the seating area are decorated with 27 feet of natural garland that cascades to the sides. The garland is made of magnolia leaves, fir boughs, pine cones, and other natural elements. Over the billiard table, this recreated and restored light fixture is dressed with fresh cedar, magnolia, and assorted pine boughs that cascade around it. As we enter the dining room, we see how Wright design takes us in a light-filled space from the darker space on the first floor. This house is considered one of the earliest examples of a full-on prairie-style home. Many of its features appear again and again in other Wright design homes. For example, in the second floor dining room, look for the linear perimeter trim below the ceiling. The walls broken up by windows that are art glass screens to give the eye a sense of having entered from the darker first level to the glorious light of the second. The ceiling echoing the shape of the exterior hip roof. The light cove around the room's perimeter concealing the light fixtures. The current owners had the sideboard created in the Wright style and decorated for the holiday with natural garland, assorted berries and pine cones, and dotted with gold votives. The glorious windows provide a remarkable setting at any time, but on a crisp winter day, they particularly define the room's character. The glass wall behind the table is lit and decorated with a 36-inch magnolia leaf wreath, accented with ribbon and a fresh magnolia garland with gold votives. There are 110 Wright-designed art glass windows throughout the house. They transform each room into a unique gallery of beautiful images and light shapes. In this home, where every feature has been conceived as art, the natural decorations during the holiday season are curated by Chris Gehagen of Moss. During the restoration, the table and chairs were produced using the dining set from the Dana Thomas House in Springfield, Illinois, as a model. At holiday time, the table is set with Spode Christmas tree china that Patty has collected over the years as gifts from her mother-in-law. A long, low centerpiece of assorted greens, berries, orchids, and roses adds the finishing touch. Imagine Christmas Eve dinner in this beautiful room, with a festive holiday menu whose fragrance fills the room and warms the hearts of all who enjoy it. Only one item is no longer served: oyster stew. At the family's insistence, this tradition has become yet one more element in the home's history. Coming into the living room, as we saw in the dining room, the magnificent art glass windows provide a sense of being high up. The windows enclose the house while giving the room a light and airy feeling of openness. From this point, the owners can look out on a clear night without the intrusion of seeing the street. The original owners used this room as a library. Picture it today as the room for relaxing after a memorable holiday dinner. The fireplace, with its Romanesque arch and 2 colors of brick, reflects the entry to the house and invites guests to linger and share memories. The ingle nook to the right is especially inviting on a cold holiday evening. This cozy area, restored in 2002, since it had been removed by an earlier owner, illustrates Wright's concept that every room should have multiple uses rather than be confined to a single use. During the restoration, the owners used photos, original plans, and measurements of the original pieces to recreate Wright's vision for this room. The furniture is not original. It is a reproduction from Wright's original designs for the house. The Wright designed carpets in the living room and dining room were never produced for this house, but they were produced during the restoration by using Wright's original watercolor sketches. Against the beautiful backdrop of this room sits the family tree decorated with ornaments collected from years of travel and the children's youth. Although the children, who are now adults, no longer live here, the holidays bring them together in a spectacular setting where family customs dominate. Christmas Eve is spent wrapping gifts, drinking eggnog, in matching Christmas pajamas around the fire, and enjoying each other's company. We'll make a quick stop to see the veranda, which is used in warmer weather. It was originally an open-air porch. The original owners later added a master bathroom on the east side, then windows and screens in the rest of the space, probably to make it a three-season or year-round room. During the restoration, these additions were removed and the veranda came back to the way Wright planned it. The height of the veranda walls provides privacy so the owners can enjoy the space without being seen from the street. At holiday time, the window boxes are filled with cedar and pine boughs and votives. On the table sits green swag dotted with gold votives. The veranda may be too cold to enjoy at Christmas, but it continues to be a lovely place to admire, especially dressed for the holidays. When this home was built, the kitchen was intended to be purely utilitarian rather than a gathering place for guests. The needs of today's homeowners are different. Although the kitchen's footprint remains, the renovation created a room of which Frank Lloyd Wright would likely approve. The renovation replaced the utilitarian metal cabinets with those that copy the look of the original butler's pantry. The butler's pantry has been restored and continues to serve its original purpose. The original icebox doors also survive and have been restored. They now serve as the face to a cupboard at the kitchen's back entrance. The refrigerator and refrigerator drawers of the new kitchen are faced with doors identical to the cabinets. The surviving and restored elements of Wright's work for the kitchen enabled a contemporary look to be created while preserving the architect's distinctive design. The stove and oven is a restored Magic Chef, vintage from the 1930s. And though there is room for only a few Christmas touches in the kitchen, the same holiday fragrances that fill so many homes at this time of year come into play here. Somehow, the scents of cinnamon, nutmeg, greenery, and candles are bolder in this gracious setting. Living in this historic, amazingly designed home intensifies every experience. The inimitable horizontal shape of the house is clearly visible even in twilight, a tribute to Frank Lloyd Wright and to the owners who built it, those who restored it, and those who enjoy it today and want to share it with us. A special thanks to the Frank Lloyd Wright Trust for the superb information they provide to all visitors, some of which you have heard as we visited this home. Happy holidays.